Asalamualaikum all, welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a Muslimah life coach and I support sisters with relationship and mental health issues. But over here on YouTube, I also make Islamic lifestyle and dawah content. So if you're interested in that, then definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Today's video is an episode on my series known as A Muslimah's Perspective. I did start this series quite a couple of years ago, so I hope you guys are still following on. Today's topic is on the topic of self-comparison or comparing ourselves to other people. So I've titled this comparison the thief of all joy, because for me at least, I feel like this is one of the problems that comes from comparing ourselves to other people. So Insha'Allah, in today's video, I'm going to address the topic as well as give some of my advice on how to manage the issue of comparing ourselves to others and some of the negative side effects that can come as a result of doing that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you're excited, and without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So why do we compare ourselves to others? Well, there are a number of different theories that suggest that we do it for different reasons. One of the reasons may be that we compare ourselves to others as a means to motivate us to do more, or sometimes we do it as a way of achieving our sense of self, our sense of who we are, because we can compare ourselves to those in similar positions to us. And we compare ourselves to other people in so many different areas of life. It's not just like this is the one area of life that everyone tends to compare themselves with. It can be based on so many different things. It could be based on physical features. It could be based on skills. It could be based on your financials. It can even be based on things like your family and your upbringing and the things that your gifts and talents. You compare that with other people's gifts and talents. This is the type of situation that a lot of people find themselves in when they compare themselves to others. Now, does it have to be this way? No, it doesn't have to be that way. You can compare yourself to someone else in terms of, okay, they have this, or what do I have? What are my blessings as well that I can use to make my own success? Right? But unfortunately, in this day and age, with the help of social media and everyone putting out their best lives, most people tend to look at others as being better than themselves. Now, this concept in and of itself in Islam is discouraged to look at someone who is, or consistently, let me put it this way, to consistently look at someone else who is above you is an act that is discouraged in Islam. Because the Prophet ﷺ says it is better for you, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's better for you that you should look at those below you rather than looking at those above you. Because when you look at those below you, it will help you to recognize your blessings. Look at this clear example of the Prophet ﷺ knowing the nature of human beings discourages us from comparing ourselves to other people, those who are above us. Now, does it mean that just because a person has one specific aspect of life in which they are more gifted than you means that they are better than you? No. It might just be that they have more than you in that specific area of life. It does not. It does not define who you are as a person. It does not mean that now you look at yourself as a less than. It doesn't mean that you look at yourself as someone who is no longer worthy, or maybe now you can't compete. You can't stay in that job anymore because there's no chance for you because this person is stealing all the light, and so now you need to diminish and you need to go off. It also doesn't mean that you now need to attack this person right here for what they have, because whenever I talk about these topics, I always bring up the issue of destiny, and I always bring up the issue of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choosing people's qadrs for them. There is a certain part of qadr, and qadr is a whole nother topic that we can like make a series of video on. But there is a part of qadr that you and I don't choose, that Allah chooses for us, right? And we have to accept that Allah has placed the destiny for different destinies for different people, and it might be that that is their gift, but perhaps Allah has given you something that Allah hasn't given that person, that person is struggling with, but you fail to see that when all you focus on is that skewed image of, oh, that person has this particular thing that I don't have, and so therefore I am less than. The second point I want to make is how comparing ourselves to others leads to jealousy. And if you've ever been in a situation where you've ever compared yourself to someone else, you might realize that if you start doing that for long enough, if you allow your heart to continue in that condition for long enough, you will start to develop resentment, you will start to develop hatred, you will start to develop jealousy towards that person. And jealousy is certainly not something that we want to have, because the idea of jealousy is wishing that that person does not have what they have, wishing that that thing was taken away from them, wishing that perhaps Allah did not give them this particular gift. And what that does is it destroys our own good deeds. Jealousy destroys your deeds just like fire destroys the log. A very dry log that burns very quickly, you see the way the fire just consumes it and it burns it very quickly. That is how fast your good deeds diminish when you become jealous, or you allow your heart to linger in that state of jealousy towards what that person has. So if you are consistently finding yourself comparing yourself to someone else, and you find your heart is beginning to feel some kind of a way, you don't have to focus on that person's life. You can turn your head away. That's okay. And focus on your own life and focus on self-development. And sometimes we spend way too much time watching other people build their lives and their goals and their dreams, and spend their 24 hours very, very differently, putting in a lot of effort, putting in a lot of time. And what we do is we spend our 24 hours sitting on our butt, watching other people achieve their goals and be active and live their dreams. And sometimes we have to question whether or not we're doing what is best for us to achieve our goals and to achieve our dreams. And maybe sometimes these blessings, they didn't just fall on the lap, they didn't just fall on the hands of these people. Perhaps, oh, here's the surprise, perhaps maybe they've worked really, really hard to actually get to where they are. And maybe if you're willing to put in that same number of hours or work or effort and sacrifice, perhaps Allah may also open the door for you. So think about the way you're spending your 24 hours and how that person, that individual may be spending their 24 hours. Maybe compare that. If you're going to do a comparison, let it be towards something that's going to help to motivate you, right? It's going to motivate you and it's going to encourage you. So the next few points that I'm going to be making are in relation to, okay, so what can we do to manage this feeling and this need to just self-compare ourselves all of the time and the negative impact that it's having on us. Now, guys, as much as I say turn away and look away, right? You don't have to follow these people's lives. You don't have to be consumed by what they are doing if it's making you feel some kind of a way. As much as I say that, I am also a realist in a sense that I know the medium nowadays is social media. And social media is not going anywhere. Even if social media disappears all of a sudden, which is highly unlikely, but even if it suddenly disappeared, even if TV suddenly disappeared, there will always be someone in this world who will always be better than you in one way or another. There will always be. There will always be someone who is more knowledgeable than you. There will always be someone who is more courageous than you. There will always be someone who is willing to work harder than you. If you think you're working hard, there's probably someone out there in the world, in this dunya, that is willing and is outworking you. That's just how life is. And if you think that there's no Islamic basis upon this point that I've just made, study the story of Dhul Qarnayn and Musa alayhi salam. Right? Musa alayhi salam is the prophet of Allah. If anyone could have assumed who would have more knowledge in this world, you would think it would be him, right? Until he met Dhul Qarnayn, to whom Allah revealed things that Allah did not reveal to Musa alayhi salam. And they had to go on that journey, and Musa alayhi salam had to learn to be patient in order to find out the reasoning behind the things that Dhul Qarnayn did. Study the story of Dhul Qarnayn and Prophet Musa alayhi salam. So in this dunya, you just need to accept the fact that there will always be people who are better than you in one way or another. And if we're going to base our self-esteem, if we're going to base who we are, we're going to base whether or not we are blessed based on what someone else has, then we will always feel that sense of less than. We will always feel that sense of lack. We will always feel that sense of every time you see someone else that's better than you, you need to run. And so my point is that We need to learn how to manage ourselves, how to exist in this world despite the fact that there are those who are better than us. Because like I said, I myself, I do encourage you. Sometimes if you can't handle it, just look away. That's the way that you can handle it. But that is a momental way of managing that situation. That is not a long-term way of managing the situation. A long-term way of managing the situation is just knowing that, listen, there are just people in this life who will be better than me, but that does not reflect upon who I am. That doesn't make me less than. And once you get to feel comfortable, there are millionaires out there. So, just because he's a millionaire doesn't mean he's entering Jannah before me. There will be people who might attain closeness to Allah greater than the one I have. So what? It doesn't stop my journey on trying to become closer to Allah. Do you understand? We have to get to that point where we're okay with other people having more than us in this life. Because even if you run away from social media, even if you run away from TV, even if you, no matter what you do, you will still come across people who are better than you in one way or another, and that is just life. Sorry guys, a little bit of tough love, but I don't think that this is said enough. So people just feel like the only way is just to run and hide, run and hide, run and hide. Sometimes some things in life you just have to face it head on. This is just the way it is. Simple as. Now, like I said, it does not mean that you are less than, but if it's making you feel like you're less than, if it's making you feel jealousy, if that's suddenly bringing negative emotions and you need to turn yourself away, then do that. But seek Allah's help to keep your heart cleansed and pure. To help you keep your heart cleansed and pure. And a part of doing that, yes, is controlling what you look at, what you focus on. Yes. But a part of that also is accepting the qadr of Allah, that in one way or another He has made someone out there who is quote unquote better looking than you, quote unquote has more money than you, quote unquote is more knowledgeable than you, so on and so forth. So what? So what? It does not define your relationship with Allah, and it should not make you and I feel like we are less blessed than others. You might think that sometimes in your timing when you are really low, but at the end of the day you get up, you go pray 2 rakas, you pray to Allah, you let it all out, you ask Allah to help you, then you come, you sit and you think, you say, you know what, Alhamdulillah, I might not have this, but Allah has blessed me with X, Y and Z. I'm not rich, but Alhamdulillah, I have righteous children, I have blessed children, they are healthy, I still have my parents with me, X, Y and Z. If you count the blessings of Allah, you will not be able to. And so that's where we come back to. So please, brothers and sisters, yes, turn away at times, but learn to also accept that that's just the way it is in life, that there will always be people who will always have more than us, and that is okay. That is okay. And sometimes in social media, people just make it out like they have more than you, but that really shouldn't matter. They don't pay your bills, they don't feed you, so at the end of the day, girlfriend, keep it moving. All right. If we follow other people's lives, if we focus on other people's lives, it should always be with a goal of, okay, maybe this thing is benefiting me. And that is where it's good. That is where it's good and positive for you, is that you're watching that thing, or you're observing this person maybe to learn. Maybe you don't know. Maybe they are better than you in something. Maybe they have more knowledge than you in a certain area and you want to acquire knowledge. And so maybe you approach them, or maybe you watch their videos, or you follow them on social media, so on and so forth, so that you too can learn. So there is a point to your following of these individuals. There is a point to your focusing on this person's life. There is a point as to why your attention is in this certain area, because you want to know more, perhaps to help yourself so that you can improve. And if that person is open to supporting you, Alhamdulillah. If they are not, keep making your effort. Allah will make a way for you. If He chooses that to open up that path for you, He will always make a way for you, and you will also achieve the same goals, if that is what you want. At the end of the day, the only comparison that matters is the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes. We are Muslims. This is a dawah channel. Of course you expect me to say that. That is because it's the truth. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters, because acquire as much as you will in this dunya, but one day you will die. Gather up as much. Spend 24 hours a day perfecting your beauty. You will still die, and that skin will still perish. Spend 24 hours chasing money. One day you will still die, and that money will not follow you. As much as you want, oppress whomever you like. One day you will still die, but that evil deed will follow you. Spend as much of your day remembering Allah as you like. You might not see the fruits of it in this dunya, which would be surprising because usually Allah blesses people in this world for good as well, before He does in the hereafter. But you may feel as though you're not seeing the fruits of that labor, but believe me, it is waiting for you on the day of judgment. And so think, because as Muslims, we are on a journey. This is not our final destination. If you live in this dunya as though this is your final destination, your whole mindset changes. What you focus on changes. Everything changes. And you don't want it to be that the first day in your grave is the first day that you actually come to realize what this life is really all about. We are on a journey. Acquire what will benefit you for your dunya, but make sure it is not at the expense of your hereafter. And remember, your final destination is to Allah. Remember the reason why He created you in this world. And be grateful. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's my last point in terms of how to manage and deal with this self-comparison issue, is thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He has blessed you with. Look at those below you and see what they don't have. Those who are ill and in hospitals, they can't move, they can't even breathe without having a machine hooked up to them. You have air, you breathe air like it's no man's business. You don't even think about breathing, it just happens. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. And learn to be grateful for the things that you have, and learn to focus on yourself and your own self-development. So to conclude this video, in case it hasn't been clear, in terms of how to manage self-comparison, look away when you need to look away. Thank Allah for your blessings. Know that someone else rising does not mean that you are less of a person. Know that in this life, it's just how it is. There will always be someone who is better than you in one way or another, in something, in some way. They will always exist. However, that does not define your relationship with Allah. And then finally, remember why you are in this dunya. When you give so much importance to what that person has in this world, remember why you are in this dunya and focus on your goal and your journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know that no one knows the position of anybody, no matter what they have in this dunya. There might be an imam out there, there might be a scholar out there who ends up attaining a lower level of Jannah compared to an ordinary person. You don't know the relationship that someone has with their Lord. So never look down upon anyone, and especially do not look down on yourself either. Focus on why you're here and have your end goal of meeting Allah in mind. When you have that mindset, you will find yourself successful on the day when it really counts, Yawm al-Qiyamah. And that is my final point. So I hope you guys have taken something of benefit from this video. I hope it has given you a good boost to get yourself out of that rut of comparing yourself to other people. I know it will still happen because we're human beings, and every time you feel like you're in that state, you can watch this video all over again, give yourself a boost. We all need reminders all the time. Sometimes we know things, but we just need a quick reminder. So I pray that this video has been a means to that reminder for you. May Allah make it a means of blessings for both you and I. May Allah help you and I to keep our hearts contented with what He has blessed us with, and may He help and continue to bless those who have more. May Allah continue to bless them. If it will be a means of good to them, may Allah continue to bless them and bless us all as well. And more importantly, may Allah grant us a close relationship with Him, because at the end of the day, that is the only thing that truly matters. Jazakallah khair guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely give it a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your brothers and sisters if you think this reminder will also benefit them. And Insha'Allah ta'ala, I will see you guys in my next video. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.